Hey, BassGeek here, and today I'm going to show you what baits I take with me during the fall, whether I'm bank fishing or whether I'm pond hopping in my little boat. First off, before we jump right into what's in this bag, I want to tell you guys thank you. You know, it's amazing how many of you guys are watching the video after my little hiatus of being sick. You guys have really come out, shown the support, shown you're going to keep supporting the channel, and I really appreciate it. Now, apparently while I was gone, there was some sort of YouTube, change that they made, and apparently some of you aren't getting the notifications, and some of you have even been unsubscribed from the channel. So if you've got friends, if you're seeing this, you've got friends, you've got buddies, you've got pals, make sure you tell them, share some of these videos for me, just to let people know that I am back, just in case they still think I'm gone, because I'm not. I'm right here. I'm doing videos. So help me kind of get the word out, just in case YouTube is, doing what YouTube does. All that being said, again, for me, it's always about you. I appreciate you guys, and I've got some really cool stuff coming up in the month of November, which is now for you. So the next few weeks, make sure you're watching. All right, so let's dive right into this. This is a bag. I think I did an unboxing. I showed you this bag. But this is a bag I ordered from Bass Pro Shops. And, I mean, I gave nothing for it. I don't really remember what I paid for it. I'll put it down here somewhere. I want to tell you that it was maybe like 36 bucks, if it was that much. It may not have been that much. But, it's a handy little bag. Like I said, I'm going to use it. We're not going to talk a lot about the bag itself. It's the Bass Pro Shops 360, I believe it is. Anyway, but it's a top and a bottom, and you can unzip it from the bottom. It's got plenty of pockets, plenty of room, and it's great. It's a great backpack for when you're out there, fishing from the shore, or, it fits perfectly beneath my chair on the small boat. That's something else we've got to do, guys. We've got to name the small boat. Don't put them down there now. We'll do some sort of contest, but just trust me, there's a lot of that sort of stuff going on this month. So we'll hold off on that. All right. So let's talk about what I've got in here right now. So when I went out the other day, we're talking about fall. You've seen the pictures. Hopefully you've seen the video. If not, it'll be right up here somewhere, or up here, wherever the little whoop whoop thing is. So make sure you go watch it. I was able, I got a new drone. Got some really cool drone shots out of that. Really cinematic. Hopefully I didn't overdo it, but a nice little short, kind of, hey guys, this is a cool thing. Tell me what you think. But if you haven't seen the video, make sure you go watch it. We caught a non-bass, and we caught a couple of bass on a lake that I hadn't fished in probably over 8 years. But anyway, what's in this box, or in this bag, is really going to be the same sort of stuff that I'm always going to take with me this time of year. And if you watch the live stream, you heard me talk about a lot of this stuff. Now, the color, the sizes may change depending on what lake I'm on. But a lot of this stuff during the fall is going to be the stuff that I take no matter where I go. All right. So the very first thing, I guess we should start at the top. So the top, as you can see, unzips. We'll just dig right in here. So the one thing that I stock in the top primarily is soft plastics. Now there's a couple of little boxes in here, and I'll explain to you what they are and what I use them for. But where we're going to start right off the bat is, you know, I've got some bile spawn stuff. This is the Vile Bugs. We're not going to go through a lot of the colors, but the Vile Bugs, you know, it's a good little flipping bait, and it's a good little kind of medium action trailer on jigs. So, you know, took a couple of different colors, really standard colors, black and blue, you know, green pumpkin, watermelon red flake. I took me a couple of packs of flukes with me. Now, in that particular lake, there's no shad. So, the predominant forage is going to be panfish, which predominantly they're bluegill. They do have some crappie in there. And they also have trout. They stock it with trout. And they also feed on little bass. So, the predominant colors, you know, going to be some sort of panfish, some sort of really natural greens, which again, you know, super fluke, green pumpkin. I think this is a Tennessee shad, you know, in case they were up there in those laydowns. Some of the other stuff that I brought, worms, of course. That lake is really, again, primarily, most of the time, it's pretty clear. So, of course, we're going to put some Zoom trick worms in there. We're going to put some Yamamoto, some Cincos in there. Stick baits, whatever your preference. You know, did throw in a couple of little odd colors. That's sort of a laminate by them. But primarily green pumpkin and watermelon red. Got some Havoc bottom hoppers. You know, 2-3 colors of that. There's some more Zoom trick worms. Got some of my Bass Munitions worms, again in that bold bluegill. Oh, you know, see a pattern here, bluegill sort of colors. Oh, here's some more. Let's see. Here's there's kind of my morning dawn with them. Didn't see those in there. And guys, what I love about these worms is that you can really cut them down easily. That's why I buy them in that one size, that big size, and I can cut them down to whatever size I want. Now, of course, we got some swim baits. This is a big bite swim bait. It just came in a box somewhere. This is, again, smallmouth magic. It's the reason I took this is it's got that green back and that, you know, white belly. Tennessee shad by Bass Pro Shops. That's theirs. Here's, of course, one of the things I was absolutely going to throw 90% of the time, and you've seen me catch some on it. Not this. This is the Recon shad, but this is the triple laminate trout. Let's see what else we got. We got a good natural shad, which, you know, natural shad can easily look like a lot of different things. Here's the natural shad. This is the 5.5 inch, 5 inch in the Patriot minnow. You know, again, natural shad, you know, it's natural. It just looks like anything, or possibly could be anything, in any water condition. Now, I brought some big, these are like the 5 inch, I believe. No, these are the normal, the 4 inch. These are the Rage Bugs, the green pumpkins. You know, brought me some black grunts, which are a lot like the Rage Bugs. I actually like them a lot better than the Rage Bugs. Here's the grunt by Bass Munitions. Again, it's a watermelon red. And yeah, another pack of watermelon red. That's why I like them so much. And that was, guys, I could have probably taken that grunt. That was the what I caught the last bass on. I could have probably taken that grunt and went down the bank fishing laydowns and brush on the edge of the bank and probably caught, you know, 10, 15, 20 if I really wanted to that day of those those dinks, probably, you know, like I said, the 10 to 15 inch bass. And then of course, for my jigs and for jig trailers, you know, I've got the Moab, which is a lot like, and I like this better because it's actually a little bit longer, so you can adjust the size on it to either a big jig or down to a finesse jig. But it's a lot like these, and this is the Rodent by Strike King, but I definitely prefer these. Now, the other thing that I did take with me back to the swim baits are a couple of the shiners, the Shimmer Swimmers, 10,000 fish. Well, that one's on the ground. They've got the strobe strips, and these are by Ketchco. You know, I never did use them, but that natural shad, or that natural color, this is the glass. It's really transparent in the clear water. It really takes on the color of the bottom. And that's a tip I can give you guys. You know, one of the things that you want to do is really match the bottom color with the bait that you're throwing. I know that sounds weird, and I know even in dark water or muddier water that sounds odd, but trust me, with the Shimmer Shiner you've got that little bit of flash. So in that clear water, that clear to stained water, a lot of times matching that bottom color can be hugely important. All right, so next in this little box, I've got the things that, you know, I've got a few big hooks and weights. I've got some wobble heads. I've got some big, just, you know, 6-7/0 hooks, some ledge head underspins, that sort of stuff in this little box. I'm going to save this last box in here for last, but here, a lot of you guys seen this, and this is a prototype. I probably shouldn't be showing you this, but I'm going to tell you there's a very good chance you guys might get one before it ever hits the market. But this, I can literally take all the terminal tackle you could ever need, and you can see how I've got it all sorted up and labeled out. So, you know, I didn't take a lot of stuff, you know, 2, 3, 4 types of, you know, an offset 3/0 or you know, a hook here and there. You know, it's a day of fishing. I can come down and restock this and be ready to go fishing all over again. Again, that's by Opticast, and I can't wait until they're available to you guys. But that is great for pond hopping. It's just so, it's light, and you can fit so much stuff in it. You know, so bank fishing, you know, it's not rolling all over the place. Love the little doors. Just a great setup. I can't wait till he's got it all done. This, I'm going to take this sticker off because it doesn't mean a thing of what's being used. This is just a little box that I use to put my spinnerbaits in. And again, wasn't going to take a lot of spinnerbaits because, you know, again, that lake has, you know, bluegill in it predominantly. So, of course, what color spinnerbaits did I take? Now, I do want to tell you, I took a couple different sizes. And the sizes that I use around here are probably a little different than the sizes you use. Now, this is my 1/2 ounce, and this is again a bluegill color. This is the Advantage 1/2 ounce in a bluegill, like the willow leaf blades, like the double blades with a little bit of gold. And that's just in case, for whatever reason, most of the bites were going to be up super shallow. But on that day, they just were not interested in moving baits. Now here's where it gets a little freaky. Most of you guys probably don't fish these types of baits that I'm going to share with you right here. Now this is a Strike King It's a 3/4 ounce bluegill. I don't remember what they call it, a hack attack, a deep, structure, spinnerbait, whatever it's called. And I'm going to tell you why. It's going to get a little more freaky. Of course, I brought 2 of them. You never know, what you're going to hit or break off in. And I brought 2 of these. These were made special for me. These are multi-blades. Now, listen, I love 3 and 4 blade spinnerbaits. I love them. They just get bit for me. And this is an ounce size in this. And, of course, like I said, I brought 2 of those. Now, why am I bringing such heavy spinnerbaits with me? I'll tell you. I fish steep, deep lakes. You guys have heard me say this 100 times. The lakes that I fish, most of the banks are all 45 degree. So what I like to do is take these heavier, especially 1 ounce is really my size. Now I'm gonna cast it up and right up in the shallowest water I can get, a foot deep. I'm gonna cast that thing up there, right around that blow down, that lay down, where it's going to be right beside that trunk, and I'm going to give it a couple, maybe 3 real fast turns of the reel handle. As soon as it hits water, I mean, when I throw it up there and it hits the water, it's almost like a buzz bait. I don't want it buzzing the surface. I'm not reeling it fast enough for it to do that, but I definitely want it right under the surface. I don't know if you guys have ever been around, where some bluegill are congregating, but if you take a rock or a pebble or something and kind of throw in, the very first thing those bluegill do is kind of scatter out. They'll go out a little bit and then they'll turn around and look. Hey, what was that? So a lot of times, especially during the fall, what I want to do is throw that bait up there when that splash, because, with an ounce or 3/4 ounce bait, you're going to get a little splash. So when they hear that splash, I want to give it a couple of quick reels. And by that time, I'm out over 2, well, probably 3, 4, 5 foot of water. So I stop it and I just let that bait begin to contour that tree. And as it comes out, I just reel it slower and slower, just slow enough so that the blades, but so it's actually dropping with the tree. So I'm ticking the limbs as I'm going over it. And so I can call those bigger fish up with that spinnerbait as the tree gets deeper and deeper. And a lot of times you'll get some really good bites doing that. So before I get into the front pouch, I want to show you on the back. There's a little back pouch back here. You'll keep that flat, but I kept me a couple of, bait wraps in there in case, I changed out something. If they were really on a crankbait or a jerkbait bite, and a couple of the rods, I decided to put a couple of different jerkbaits on. So I've got those to kind of help me keep from getting things tangled up. Now, in the front pouch right here, I did have my flipping stick with me, but that flipping stick would have been perfect to double to use for a couple of these baits. Now, like I said, I didn't know what the water clarity was going to be. I didn't know if the lake was up because they had just a couple years back, 3 years back, I don't remember, they had, built onto the dam, which had raised it something like 4, 5, 6 feet. I don't remember. But they had dropped it, or are dropping it, for winter pool. So, of course, I want to bring some trout S-wavers. Now, for whatever reason, this is the 168. Now, I can't find my actual trout color. I don't know what I've done with it. I don't know if I've managed to lose it. I guess I'm going to have to buy me another one. So, of course, I brought me some Patriot shad. I got them in, in the trout color. Now, these were both the 5-inch and the 3-inch. I threw the 3-inch on the Underspin, which was something that during the fall I'm going to use as a search bait quite a bit. And I've got a great video coming out for that, hopefully in the next week. So make sure you stay tuned. I have got an Underspin video, I think, that's going to blow your all's mind. Now, last but not least, I had me another little hard swim bait, and this is the Fishing Bait Club. This is from the same people that make the ConnectScale. Nice little multi-joint bluegill color. Again, remember what I said. And then on top of that, I had me a couple of Buzz Toads from Strike King. So a couple different colors. Hadn't even got them out of the pack yet, and wanted to give those a try. So that pretty much concludes the top of the bag. So what you've seen, if you've thought about it, during the fall, you've got an Underspin, which is a great fall bait. You've got small swim baits. You've got a few bigger swim baits, which, again, bass, even in lakes that don't have shad, are going to key in on those bait fish, whether they're trout, crappie, you know, whatever they may be. If you don't have shad, they're going to key in on those. You've got baits that can mimic crayfish, that we can flip, that we can get down into things, or still mimic small with their colors. And especially, I always say it, with the grunts, they look like a small bluegill a lot of times swimming down. So you can see why I would take a version, maybe not these colors, and some of these colors, to a lot of different lakes. You can fish them a lot of different ways. And like I said, man, this is what's great. And you know, for me, I've been fishing out of my big boat for so long. It's really neat to just pack so small and so light, have everything you need. You know, 90% of this stuff, you know, I didn't even throw. So it's just pretty neat. Pretty neat to try and do this, because this is something I want to do in my big boat. I carry way too much stuff in my big boat. So it's something that I'm really trying to do, is a trimmed down sort of organization even in my big boat. Now, let's look at the side pockets. Now, one of these side pockets, I'm not going to show you what's in there, because I was actually bringing them out with me to shoot a video. So I'm not going to share that with you yet, because I want you guys to see this, and I don't want you being surprised. Or I do want you being surprised, but I don't want you ruining the surprise. Now, in this side pocket, I brought along, oh, look at that. I didn't even realize that I'd forgot to put me some belly weighted swim bait hooks. You know, if the water would have still been up and it would have still been in that timber, in that standing timber and all that brush, you know, a swim bait on a belly weighted hook so that it's weedless would have been a great bait. Skip it, you can skip it back up in that stuff and just slow roll it like a stealthy spinnerbait. Let it kind of tick the wood and the timber and those branches, and man, those bass that are looking for those bait fish that are sitting there ready to ambush, they're not going to resist that, I can promise. All right. So anyway, I brought several sizes of those. You know, again, just depending. This isn't exactly what I brought. I just want to give you guys kind of a high overview of what I put in there. You know, you're going to go light, because if I would have been, you know, skipping those baits back in there, you know, an 1/8 ounce, 3/16, a 16th, that sort of thing, because most of that water would have been anywhere from 0 to 5 foot deep. So you're not going to be fishing that a lot. Again, remember, they just raised the dam slightly. The other thing is, I did bring me, this is not natural. This is, I believe, Pro Blue Rose. You know, just a little bit of a brighter color. You know, when you're around a lot of cover, even if the water's clear, if you're around a lot of cover, you know, just tweak those colors to the brighter side. Here we go. This is Tennessee shad, and I thought I just had them. I guess I did. I guess I had them in the wrong thing. And of course, there's what I caught the one fish I caught on an underspin, and that was my rainbow trout on the ledge head, which I also have in whatever I did with that box. In this box, I caught it on the ledge head, Tennessee River Bling, which is his version of an underspin. So if you go to the website and you're looking for a underspin, it's going to be under the Tennessee River Bling. You're going to look for the Tennessee River Bling micros for the smaller baits. Okay? On Ledge Head's website. Alrighty. Now, in the very front pouch, you know, got some scissors. Out on a small boat, not really enough room to bring a toolbox, so we got a multi-tool, and of course, we got our Wacky Rig O-ring tool. Now, we're going to open the bottom part. These are the 3600 boxes. Size, I don't remember what size they are. 7003s or something on the Flambeau. Oh, here we go. The Flambeau Anti-Rust 4007s. So I use Flambeau, whatever you want to call it, all the time. Now, guys, we know one of the staples of the fall, and man, I did throw it. You didn't see it because, again, they just were not in the mood to chase that day, was Topwater. I got some frogs. I got some of the Booyah. I don't remember what these things are called. Well, boy, look at that color right there. That color is gorgeous. Got some of the tickle frogs, the big ones, the little ones. Got walking baits. Got, got some wake baits, some whopper ploppers, poppers. You know, just an array of stuff that's going to, mimic the fish on that lake. You'll notice a lot of the colors are going to be bluegill style colors, greens, clear, got a bone in there, something that's got lines down the side so that you get, some broken up profiles. But anyway, unfortunately, and I really thought the topwater bite was going to be on, it was not. Okay, so you can put 4 of these in here. Now, I did bring some crankbaits, some cranking baits, and if the water would have been in the timber, I did even bring me out a couple of Redeye shads, so some rattle traps. Now, these are the 1/4s, and I brought those because, they're light, and again, 0 to 5 foot is where that water would have been back in there. Would have took that back treble hook off and really got into it. Had some rock crawlers. You see our bluegill pattern there. I've caught them up there on that pattern. Good looking wiggle wart right here, if I can get it out. Really nice, translucent. Got that blue on the bottom, that green on the back. Some old bandit coffin bills. I have had such good luck. You can see the bluegill pattern on that. I've caught so many good fish on this bait. I don't even think they make them anymore. I might be wrong, but the coffin bills, man, they are great. This bait right here, believe it or not. Now remember, I said these bass, they eat their own. And that little bait right there, I can't tell you how many fish over the years that I've caught on that lake, on that little bandit square bill, and I've got a bunch of them that I bought and put up. And again, jerk baits. We got our jerk baits, and right here, this isn't the one I caught we'll just call it, we don't want to spoil it for everybody who hasn't seen that video. Go back and watch that video. Again, I think this is a Smithwick suspended rogue. I think they actually call this a perch. This pattern is really hard to find, But, I mean, it looks like a baby bass. And guys, I can't tell you, this has killed. I've taken guys out. But of course, I do have a couple of my Rapalas in there. My shadow wraps. I mean, guys, that bait, the shadow wrap, to me, doesn't get its due. I'll just be honest. This whole box, now this is, y'all be impressed. Y'all don't know if y'all ain't been in my boat. Those guys that have been in my boat and fished with me, y'all should be impressed. This might look like a lot of stuff, but I'm telling you, those guys that have been in my bass boat know. All I've got in this whole box are 2 of the bull shad, the baby bull shad from Ketchco. I got a trout and I got a bluegill. What other colors do we need on that lake? And then, of course, because they do love a jig on that lake, but I could not get a bite on a jig that day, is a few jigs. And generally, I've got them in crawl patterns, you know. I will tell you this, guys. Heavy cover, that right there, the Trashmaster, one of my new favorite jigs to throw, to be perfectly honest. I really wish they would come out with a little more of a casting version of it, or some sort of football version of it. If they would come out with like 3 versions, because that version is really a flipping version. If they would come out with you know, a little bit of a casting version and then come out with a football version, I don't think I'd use another jig. They're just so weedless. They're so weedless. If you want to gain confidence in a jig, I don't care if you like the Guggen Squads. That's not a Guggen Squad bait. It's designed by the same guy that designed the Strike King Rage flange. Go to Carl's Bait and Tackle Shop and pick you up some of them Trashmaster jigs. Get you a soft plastic trailer. You know, get you, a Bass Munitions Moab. Screw it up on there and go to throwing it. Because jigs for bank anglers can be a snag waiting to happen. That right there is going to keep you from getting snagged. And 90% of the times that you would get snagged with a regular jig. I'm telling you, go out there and try them. They're impressive. And guys, that's it. That's all it took. For me, this may not be a big deal for you, but for me, to just have this amount of tackle, it's crazy. But all day, I never felt. Now, I didn't go out there, I'll be honest with you, I've told you this even in the video. I didn't go out there and put my head down and really fish hard. You know, I was out there playing with my drone, playing with my boat. You know, first time out there, just trying to get used to everything. But never felt like I didn't have anything or was missing anything I might have needed. I felt like I packed very well for the conditions of that day and the conditions of that lake. And like I said, every ounce of it in this little bag. So, you know, so far, one little trip in the bag. I'm happy. Now, of course, I will swap out. You'll see me swap out baits and boxes as I go to other lakes. There's a couple of lakes that's got grass, so, you know, we'll definitely change up some of the baits we take with us. But a lot of this stuff during the fall, I would take this in the big boat if I went over to Tennessee or, you know, wherever I went. There's a lot of this stuff. Like I said, maybe the colors, maybe the depths they run, maybe the weight size would be slightly different, but that's the deal. What I'm giving you guys are suggestions and tell you how I fish them. What you need to do, don't take the exact specs to the wire. Think about the water you're fishing and adjust the size and the color to suit where you're at and the fish and the bait fish that you're targeting. All right. So again, I want to say thank you. Please go out and remind everybody to make sure they've got that little dinger clicked, because again, YouTube is so awesome at when they do updates and make changes to things. Like I said, guys, you know, go out, tell your buddies, share some of these videos here, especially the next week or two or last week, so that people know that I am back, I am doing videos, I am better. Just in case there's some of the ones that, you know, had their bells or have their subscriptions turned off, you guys go check your own if you're seeing this video. If you're not subscribed, please, guys, please subscribe to my channel. I'm all about my subs. I'm always doing things to help you out. You're not going to find another YouTube channel that answers every single comment that's got 26 to 27,000 subscribers. There ain't one out there. I'm the only one, because I know it's about you. It ain't about me. All right. Let's get out of here, guys. I've worked all day. I know you're tired of listening to me talk, so I'm out. As always, questions and comments in the comment section below. You guys know I love to talk about fishing with you. Tell me what baits and color I left out of this bag that you guys might have thrown in there. Like it if you like it. Don't forget, ring that daggum bell. Double check that the bell is still ring. I can't talk. Make sure you're still subscribed. Tell your buddies to check theirs if they're subscribed to me. And if they ain't, tell them they need to be subscribed. And as always, man, I appreciate all the well wishes to get better. You guys rock.